Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of HomeCookin. You got the chef Alan over here, and we also got the blessed one, Bleska. Bleska, what's good?
Not much, Alan. Just another day in the life, another day of what winter will give us. Apparently, with these storms that we're getting. But what's on the menu?
Yeah, so on the menu today for all the lucky listeners, especially our cool one that we have in France, who's been following us recently. We got the NBA offseason, big trades, and something different for this special episode is that we have 2 overtime questions. So we're going to double OT.
I don't think you're supposed to reveal that.
Okay, so we'll not do that. But Bleska, you're the one who's supposed
to... Relax. Okay, hey, keep it down over there. Okay. Well, today we also have our second ever guest that will be joining us in these conversations. So why don't you say hello over there, mister?
Hey, it's Ryan Kahiri. I'm a good friend of Bleska Kambamba and Alan, and they did me the honor of inviting me on their show.
Like, Ryan, like, how do you know us? Like, do you tell us something funny from how you know us?
Well, I mean, me and Bleska got stories.
Just give us one, bro. Come
on. Tell us one. Dang. I don't know any that are G-rated, to be honest. But I will tell you that Bleska was one of the best basketball players I've ever laid my eyes on. Maybe I shouldn't say that. No.
No. Come on, yo, you're still. I still remember when we went to Windsor that one day.
Oh, that's exactly Alan, the team manager for our basketball squad when we had a pretty killer squad.
Yeah, we wanted.
We went to Windsor and good times.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Ryan, just to get you warmed up, we're gonna hit you off with some quick trivia questions. If you're ready, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Born ready.
All right. So, Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter.
Sons of Anarchy or Game of Thrones?
Sons of Anarchy. I don't like how Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez, that last season really stung, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Pandas or whales?
Pandas. They're too damn cute.
Yeah, there we go.
Burgers or tacos?
Ooh, burgers. That's close.
Star Wars or Harry Potter?
Ooh. Harry Potter. I've never really been into Star Wars.
You're a wizard, right?
Jeez. Captain America or Iron Man?
Ooh, Iron Man.
Showtime Iron Lakers? Showtime Lakers or three-peat Lakers?
Three-peat. Shaq and Kobe, best who ever did it, best duo.
Samuel Jackson or Denzel?
Denzel.
50 Cent or Kanye?
If this was 2009, I'd say Kanye, but right now I'm going 50 Cent.
The last one, LeBron or MJ?
Ooh, MJ, of course.
Okay.
All right, Alan, take us into our first topic, why don't you?
Yeah, so first piece on the menu, it's going to be talking about the NBA offseason, and it just recently picked up in steam, especially because the trade moratorium just lifted on Monday. And yeah, so we got some big trades to discuss. And the first one that's on the menu is Chris Paul moving from the Thunder to the Suns. So Ryan, I'm going to let you take the floor first. So what do you think about that trade for both teams, basically?
Honestly, I feel bad for Chris Paul because I don't see him winning a championship there, but I do like the backcourt of him and Devin Booker, especially that now that Devin Booker has a legitimate player to rely on consistently, especially after what we saw from Chris Paul this past offseason. Nobody really expected the Thunder to do what they did especially in the playoffs, let alone making the playoffs. So I'm liking the idea of Chris Paul and Devin Booker as a backcourt, but as the idea of Chris Paul getting a ring with the Suns, I don't see that happening, to be honest. It doesn't really make sense in terms of you're adding one aging star player in place of some 3 young legs. But I think all in all, the leadership that he brings, the intelligence that he brings will just impact the Suns more, especially with DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. Those two, if they get some good knowledge from Chris Paul, I believe they have a very, very high ceiling.
Okay. Honestly, I think that's like the biggest takeaway from that. Like they get to actually be around a player that's actually been like a bona fide superstar, so they get a little bit of that clout, and they just get the ooziness that comes out of Chris Paul. I don't know why I said ooziness, but like he has some legitimate clout and some legitimate history that goes along with it that Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton can really like blossom with. And you know what? He might just bring back the pick and roll action with Ayton. That might be nice to watch for some basketball purists.
For sure, I think that Chris, like it's a good fit for the Suns, but like what I want to just throw it back to you guys, and Ryan, you can probably take the lead on this. Yeah, so basically, is it worth it for like? Do you think the Suns are at the stage where they should be taking this risk? Like, do you believe that Devin Booker, he's already on a long-term contract, but he could easily pull something we'll allude to later in the James Harden type of context where like you have this superstar or star and he's thinking about like any moment or any offseason he could just turn the switch and say like, hey, I want out because we're not contending. I need to be in a place where I'm starting to make the playoffs. Like, do you think the Suns, like, do you think this was a reaction move, or is it actually something that like it's worth it? Like it's a gamble that was worth losing a few pieces of?
Honestly, the Suns, from what we saw in the bubble, were already competitive last year. And so adding Chris Paul, although just Chris Paul compared to Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio, I feel like like I said before, the intelligence that he brings and the mentorship that he will bring to Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton will be really, really worth it in the long run, especially because from what we saw Chris Paul do with the Thunder in the bubble, he made that team competitive. Once that Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook trade happened, everybody wrote off the Thunder before the season even began. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they're taking the Rockets to Game 7. All right, and then it's like a team that was written off because they lost a centerpiece in Russell Westbrook in place for Chris Paul, who's much more or less athletic. He's a lot older, and he just doesn't have the athleticism to carry a team that Russell Westbrook did.
Okay.
I feel like because the Thunder became that competitive, it will make Devin Booker more likely to stay and see what the future holds.
Right.
I agree to that. But it brings us into the next trait I want to talk about, and just like organizations doing whatever it takes to make sure their superstar stays. And that brings us to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
So Milwaukee Bucks have Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I think they're realizing that they're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Not a lot of hoopers are down to stay there, so they're just throwing the kitchen sink right now. They have to trade for Jrue Holiday. And now with Jrue Holiday on the roster, they're looking for Bogdan on Sacramento to add another shooter, and I'm assuming they'll have to give up even more. So they already gave up George Hill and Eric Bledsoe. Mm-hmm. And what do you think this move does for the Bucks? Like, does it make it more competitive? Is that gamble worth it? Again, like in the same kind of situation that the Suns were in, trying to appease their player. Is that really going to make a difference, you think, in that Eastern Conference? Can they at least make the finals?
All right, so from what we've seen, or from what I've seen, I've lost completely all faith in the Bucks, okay? And I was one of the... I'm serious, man. At the beginning, back when Jason Kidd was the Bucks coach and they had a starting lineup which was averaging a height of almost 6'5", I was like, watch out for the Bucks. All right, this team is gonna be coming, and it's gonna be coming soon. I mean, I don't know how many years have gone by, and they've been coming for like the last 3 years legitimately, and each time they keep disappointing me. This year was the last straw. I do not know what they can do. To be honest with you, I feel like they need to add another superstar to support Giannis, because Chris Middleton, great player, but he can't do that. He can't take on that extra role for Giannis. And Giannis, I feel like he's just, every time he's keep on getting exposed for his jump shot, and like year after year, he kills it in the regular season with his driving and fast breaks. But once it comes to the postseason, where it's a lot more half court, he just doesn't really know what to do. He keeps on the same Euro step, and defenders are catching on to that. So I feel like the Bucks, although they got Drew Holiday, I don't feel like he's a good enough piece. They got Bogdanovich, but okay, he's just another shooter. These are just role players, but it's not anyone who's going to help Giannis come the postseason, take that load off him, and also carry them to the next stage, which is hopefully the finals, because Giannis is a star who deserves to be in the finals for sure.
Yeah, just going off what you
wait, do they at least make it to the Eastern Conference? Do the Bucks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals next year?
Okay, what do you think?
Is that it? All right, if KD comes back healthy, the way we know KD
with Harden. Anyways, continue.
Let alone with Harden. If KD just comes back, him and Kyrie, I feel like there's not a team in the East that's going to stop him. But that being said, will the Bucks make the conference finals? It's going to be tough, because the other teams, as much as I hate them, the Toronto Raptors, you got to give them respect. They are good. Kyle Lowry, if I believe he was in the last possession of that game, they probably would have won it. So as much as I hate on the Raptors, you got to watch out for them.
Dude.
The Celtics as well, because although, they didn't really, I don't know how to say it, just watch out for the Celtics.
The finals runner-up, the Heat too. Like
the hero.
The Heat.
They.
I was thinking about the Heat earlier on. I honestly was, but now I'm thinking I'm like, what happened that brought the Heat to the finals this year? And it's just like
Jimmy
a lot
Buckets.
of Jimmy Buckets, and I'm not lying, they have a really good team. Bam, big fan of this guy. I went from I remember seeing this guy in the regular season. This guy was handling the ball at half court, and I was like, who is this guy? Because he looks like a small forward, but he's the center.
Yeah.
And he's just, I was confused. I was like, how is he handling the ball and also posterizing people and grabbing rebounds? But then by the end of the bubble, he's like a household name now. So I'm definitely watch out for the Heat. But in terms of competitiveness, I believe it's the Nets, the Raptors, the Bucks, just because they will be there. But will they be able to do enough in the postseason? I don't believe that. That was a long answer, I know.